Six, and welcome to your Spring 2 Week 2 poems, or also known as a poem called The Door English lesson. I hope that you're all well and you're enjoying your poem writing this week. We've been really loving it and been so impressed with the level of learning which each of you have been uploading. We are really impressed, and we're really looking forward to reading your final versions of your poems as they come through. So today I thought I'd take you through lesson 3, where today we're going to be planning, editing and improving a poem called The Door. So before we start any of our learning, we always make sure that we crack on with the spelling starter. So the spelling starter today, we'd like you to create a story using all of these common exception words. Make sure that your story is full of exciting language, key grammatical features, and you identify these spellings in a different coloured pen within the text. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, that we're using explanation, familiar, foreign, 40, government, and frequently. Please pause this video and come back to me once you've done that. Hello and welcome back. You should have paused that film, You should have paused the teaching point and had a go at your spelling starter. You should now be coming back to me ready to start our lesson 3 today, where we are planning, editing and improving a poem called The Door. So the first thing we need to do with any form of a poem is you are going to be using either this version or the model that you wrote in lesson 2 to help you write your own plan. So before we move on to planning your own version of this poem, you will need to make sure that you understand the key features and the theme. They are easy to include in your writing once you notice them. The theme might be different for each person depending on how you interpret, that means understand, the poem. Now it's time for you to spend some time going through this. So a bit like when we've done comprehensions, ladies and gentlemen, you need to have a look at this poem and think about what is it about. We'd like you to answer these key questions here on your piece of paper, making sure that you use your point, evidence and explanation, so your P, to answer them. So what is the theme? What is referenced throughout? For example, I can see elements of nature being referenced, for example, a tree or a wood or a garden, perhaps even things that are unknown, such as a magic city. You can also see that animals are used, like dogs rummaging. And also you can see that things like weather is being introduced with things like a hollow wind. What do you think the message is? What is repeated throughout and why? What forms of repetition can you see? What effect does this repetition have on the reader, so you as the target audience? And what key things are being spoken about? Once you've identified these in this model poem, make sure you use these questions to help you when you plan your own version. That means when you're planning your own, make sure that you're thinking about these key elements when you're writing them down. So, ladies and gentlemen, pause this video now and come back to me once you've done that. Good luck. Hello and welcome back. You should have had a go answering all these comprehension questions based on this poem here called The Door by Miroslav Holub. And you should have answered these questions. Please don't forget, alongside your spelling starter, you've also uploaded the answers to these key questions here. Now, even further, we're going to break down the poem here. Now here you can see that I've gone through and I've identified some of the key features that we can see through this. Now I'm not going to read all of these for you, but please make sure that you read through these, because these are all of the things that we'd like you to include in your writing. You can see what we think the idea is based on. So you can see the rhythm or lack of rhythm that a normal poem has, the use of imagery, The first few lines, you can see how nature is shown throughout. The theme of weather, the stanzas. Remember, if you don't know what a stanza is, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you have a look at your grammar resource slide. That will also take it through for you. You can see that speech is being used and the use of repetition and this idea of a door, which is used as a metaphor. Again, if you can't remember what a metaphor is, make sure that you revert back to, that means go back to the grammar resource slides to help you. Please pause this video now, or this learning and teaching video now, if you think you need to go over those before you continue. Hello and welcome back. You should have had a look at your grammar resource slides now to go over some of these key poetic grammar features. Now we're going to move on to our next example. So we're going to be moving on, ladies and gentlemen, to your planning. Now you can either base your planning on this version of the poem or the previous poem version that we looked at. So here is the teacher example, which you should have had a go at writing yesterday. You can either use that version of your plan or this version of the door here to write your own poem based on this door. Now, if you are going to use your version, you can see here that we put up our own version here. Please don't forget to include that exciting grammar as from the grammar resource that you've just been through. You need to make sure that you're including that throughout all of your writing. So read through this again here and see if you can improve and edit your version from yesterday today in your planning section. Now you can see here, it's your turn to have a go at writing your own poem inspired by this mysterious door, either this one here or this one here. Please make sure that you either use one of the two models as your basis. Make sure you describe the door in detail using that grammar from the grammar resource slides. Think about what lies on the other side of the door. Can you explain that in your poem? Great writers, steal ideas and magpie from other great writers. Don't forget to include your 5 senses, again found in your grammar resource slide, and think about what you notice. Don't also forget to reflect on these questions that you've already answered based on the door in your own planning as well. Before you move on to the planning and you read through this in more detail, if you are really stuck, we've written a support structure here for you that you can then edit and improve. And please don't forget that you need to be using your success criteria and this little one here in order to support your writing. Pardon me. Don't forget to tick these off, being able to show 2 or more pieces of evidence before you tick it off in your planning process. Don't forget to use this as you write, and if you've noticed you've missed something, don't forget to add it in. Please can we remind you that these are all found in your grammar resource slides, which also has a teaching point this week, ladies and gentlemen. And if you do need any further help, please don't hesitate to get in contact. We look forward to seeing your first draft of your plan today, and don't forget to upload it by 3 p.m. We're wishing you the best of luck. Speak to you soon. Bye.